All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Can you hear me now? If you can hear me, like give me some hear me now. Somehow I have echo on my end. Give me 1 second, okay? Because I need to figure out because whatever I say, it just keep repeating to me. um, Let me see. Mhm. Okay. Anyway, I will just continue. It will be a little distract. Okay, if you can hear me, then put in the private chat. Give me some give me some sign where you from, you uh, where you are in the investment um, industry. Are you a newbie or are you experienced one? How many years you have been doing this? Just be interactive a little bit with other people because networking is also very important. Okay, second, can you see my screen? If you can see me, you hear me, that's good. But can you see my screen? Okay, everyone can see. Thank you. Houston, maybe. Hello, Mark. Hello, Jalene. Hello, Jeep. Hello, Katarina. Yeah, I'm in the Dallas Fort Worth area. So my name is An Phan, and I'm in West DFW area, and now I'm already expand to Houston. I'm not that like big, um, but I do have like some experience with whatever I did in the past years. And today Rescue uh, um, wanted me to present something that very practical, like not really just give you the concept. Um, So we thought that the case study is the more, practical thing, and it can help you to understand not only the concept, but you understand the the golden nuggets, along the deals, how you negotiate and how they turn out into, from legal deals as well. So today we we're gonna focus on, if you ever tried to do wholesale before, either you're a newbie or experienced one, we do see dead leads before. Like what that means. That list is not a story. Or the number doesn't work out, so you think that you cannot, make profit out of it. You think that you cannot make a deal. Now there's some deals that maybe when you see it as dead leads, but with other people, right, they still can buy those. How can they turn it into deals, right? So today we're gonna focus on that, and I'm gonna give you about like 4 or 5 examples of the leads that either from wholesaler or from the agents, the brokers, that is almost like dead leads for them. But when they give it to us, we was able to turn it into leads and into and close the deal. Okay, sounds good. Oh, cannot see your screen, just you, Sean. Yeah, there seemed to be an echo. I have echo on my end either. Um, so I don't know how can I change it. Um, is it better now? Okay, I don't hear echo on my end. Oh no, still. Mm, oh, okay, is it better now? Okay, let's get started. Okay, so it they all like um case studies today. Okay, so I like I said, I am in DFW before, so most of all of the case study today is gonna be in DFW. So the first one is Garland, Texas. For this scenario, the house is not it's a townhouse, it's not big, right? Um, three bed, two bath, and the value of it, ARV. Any of you, if you don't know what is ARV, can type in the chat. We can answer that later. But ARV 230, and the seller has an underlying mortgage. That means he has mortgage. The house not clean and clear, right? He has a mortgage at 149. Um, and also he has a renovation loan on it, with about 10% interest, 10,000. And the house, because the townhouse, they all have HOA, is 120 per month, right? So that is a scenario. And this is the house condition. House condition, he did try to fix the foundation issue before, but now he only fixed the front of it. He didn't fix the back of the house. And then now it turned, into an issue, like quite a bit issue with the house. You see cracks everywhere in the house, door start to, like shift, shifted and everything. And he even, didn't fix replace the flooring when he fixed the foundation. So the house not really in bad situation, but it doesn't look good, right? And there was many investor, wholesaler trying to come to the house and then give an offer, even got it on contract, but then they back out because you cannot get it sold. They couldn't get it sold, so they back out. So when we came to him, he's kind of like already tired and he doesn't know, what to do with the house. He doesn't want to keep the house anymore. He's old. He wants to just move to an apartment. And he wished that he can sell the house and maybe get about, a few thousand to walk away, right? But let's look at, let's say if somebody come in here, they want to purchase this, they want to fix it and flip it, right? That means you have to fix the house. Maybe it looks like this, but this, right? Very simple, but it looks clean and neat, right? So this is the condition you're supposed to fix it. So, right, this is the current condition. So when you look at it, you see that there's quite a bit, work here. But let's look at the numbers, if it works for us, if sell and then flip it, right? So we had a few estimate about the foundation. It's about 5 to 10 thousand dollars to fix the foundation. But when you lift up the foundation, you know that there's a potential plumbing and cosmetic you need to do as well, right? And we estimated it about like 15K more, right? If there's any issue, after the foundation fix. And and if you are a flipper, you would be familiar with you know this formula. Some people they do 65% ARV, some people they do 70% or 80 or 90%, right? So just assume, let's say that we try to do like 80% ARV here minus repair. which is about 22,000. So your maximum offer, max allowable offer is 162, right? So that means as an flipper, your initial investment probably minimum, like 162 plus 22, that 184, right? And if you can get that, that means your profit is about, like 10% of the ARV. But here, like we say like be conservative a little bit, right? So maybe your profit is 15K, right? However, the rent com in the area is only like 1,600. If you want to keep the property, it means you have to refinance it, you get the mortgage, right? And at that time, well, when we acquire the property, at that time, the interest rate for investment property is pretty high. It's about, I would say minimum 8% or 8.5%, right? That would make your PITI, the monthly payment for the new mortgage, gonna be like 17 to 1,800. That means if you fix it up and you hold it for rent, you're not gonna cash flow, right? Um, or if you flip it, then your profit is about 15K, but you need to do a lot of work with this house. And that and you need to purchase it, at least 80% ARV. If you purchase it 90% ARV, uh, you don't make money, right? But the minimum you have to offer, well, the maximum you have to offer is 162. And you see here, that is the number that the seller needs, because the seller needs 162 exactly to pay off the mortgage and pay off the renovation, right? That means he's not gonna walk away with nothing, right? Um, so basically, if you try to wholesale it, it's not gonna work for you because the maximum you can offer is 162. If you want to wholesale, you make that 5,000 or 10,000, you need to cut the price, 5 or 10 more. It means you offer him like 152, which he cannot take it because he will be, like short on his debt, right? So that's why a lot of investor, when they came before, the number just doesn't work for them, um, and they back out because they're trying to host more than 162. But if the investor, the flipper who wants to flip it, if they spend more money on the purchase, they're not going to make profit, right? They only have like 10 to 15K profit. So that means it doesn't work. So how do you still turn its debt leads into a deal, right? So here, what we do, if you ever heard about, like subject to and seller finance before, then this is how we do it, right? Um, so we come here. I compare, the two methods for you. On the left hand side is a cash offer, and on the right hand side is a hybrid offer. The of the subject to on seller finance. So for this house, when we coming in, right, we know that um, because if we offer cash, it's not gonna work. So when coming in, we said, okay, we're gonna purchase the house. The purchase price is 167. So that means it's enough for the seller to pay off the mortgage. Or no, I use the word pay off, not that correct, right? That means enough for the seller to get out of the mortgage and the renovation loans, right? And plus, he can also take 5,000 to walk away, right? But instead of pay off the mortgage or the renovation loans, we just take it over the payment of him, and we pay for him, right? So the current PITI he has on the mortgage is only about 1,000. because he has a very good interest rate, about 3%. At that time, 3% is very good because when you go out there and go with the regular loans, minimum you're gonna get like 7%. So 3% he got, which is very good. And we also take over the 13K renovation loans he has, even though it's 10% interest, but it's not much. It's about $162 per month, right? So when we took over all that, monthly payment for the house is about, like 1,400, right? And we know that rent farm is 1,600. So you barely, like cash flow about $200 if you just do long-term rent, right? However, if you compare the initial investment of the right-hand side method versus the cash offer, cash offer you need 184,000 for this house to fix it up, right? But for the second method, you only need how much? You need 5K to give to the seller, and you need 22K to fix it up. In total, you need 20. But to purchase the house, you only need 5,000 plus closing costs. Is it good? Right? Um, and this deal we end up wholesale it, and we make like 15K for wholesale. Okay. And the exit strategy for this, you can see on the right hand side, it says fix and flip. It's okay, right? You don't make much, but it's okay. You can wholesale it. You can do BRRRR method, right? Long-term brands, um, it's okay because you can cash about 200 per month. Um, but short-term rent or mid-term rent would be much better, right? Co-living, you cannot do that because of the extra. Okay. Okay. Let's move to the next example. So this example is in farmer branch, and the previous one, you see the house that has no value, we cannot do it with cash deal. It doesn't profit much. But the good thing they have is a low interest mortgage. That's what we want, right? That's the value of the house. The value of the house not in its condition or in the house or anything, but it in the mortgage that he has. For this farmer branch property, you're gonna see because this one the mortgage is not good, the price is not good at all. But how can we turn it, into a deal with this farmer branch? Right. So the house, the scenario is 4 bed to bath. It's single family, 1,600 square feet. ARV is about 320 to 330, right? But the seller, he was a flipper himself, but he's not that experienced, right? This is his first flip. So he tried to fix it before he purchased the house on cash. He get how many loans to fix it, but he cannot get it sold. So he has to refinance it. And at that time, he was able to refinance it with a very high, interest rate. And still, he stuck his money in the house, 5 to 40K, and he wants to get that money back. That's what he wants to sell. Um, but he knows if he sell it, the traditional way, he's not gonna make money. He's gonna lose money, right? Because this is the condition of a house. He fixed it up, but it's not that very good for people, to like it enough to purchase it with the uh, get value price, right? You can see that the details still need, a lot of touch up, and it still have, little minor foundation repairs fixed, right? He convert the garage into the room as well. So let's look at the number here, right? We know seller needs 35 to 40K. We know the mortgage is about 288, right? But the interest rate is 7.5%. If compared to the one in Garland, this mortgage doesn't do any good for me, right? For the buyer, it's too high. The foundation repair, you may need about 7,000 more. Um, How is the sound? I hear people say the sound is not good. Mm, okay, I will just continue. Okay, so foundation repair 7K cosmetic. Maybe you need about 15 to 20K more to just to do the cosmetic. Um, so rent come here is 2200 per month, right? So here, if you look at the number, if you try to purchase this the traditional way with cash, right? Even 90% ARV minus repair, the maximum numbers you have to offer, you can offer it to 65, which is lower than the mortgage number. So it doesn't work for you. It doesn't work for the seller either. That you cannot do anything with it. So, 1 second. Okay. So what are we gonna do? Okay. So we came in. It's the same strategy, the same method that we did with the previous house, and we purchased the house with how much? 325,000, right? And we want to take over his mortgage as well, even though it's 7.5%, but we still take it over, right? PITI, the monthly payment for it is 2550, about 2,500 per month, right? And not only that, we're gonna offer to give the seller at closing 10,000 cash. Okay. And however, because the seller wants, not wants, but he needs about 35 to 40, right, for him to get the money out of the house. But we said, okay, we cannot give him all of the money up front at closing. We only give him 10, but we can give him 27,000 more down the road. And the agreement was that we're gonna pay him $100 per month in 5 years. But then after 5 years, whatever the balance of 7,000, we're gonna pay him, everything in 5 years. So that makes this deal become like how much you need to purchase the house. You only need 10,000 to purchase the house. And not only that, you don't need any bank involved. You don't need any credit. You don't need income proof or anything. You just need 10,000 to give cash to the seller plus closing costs, and you purchase this house. Right. However, if you purchase this house to leave, there's nothing to say. Right. It's okay. But if you are an investor, you need to consider the exit strategy. What is the exit strategy for this house? Because look at the rent com 2,200, your monthly payment already 25, 2,600. You don't make money. Right. So for the burn method, you cannot do long-term rent. Short-term rent, mid-term rent, here it's okay. You barely cash flow. But the good thing about this now is the layout is very good and it's in a good area for co-living. So that's why we end up, hosting this deal to the investor who is an expert in co-living. And with co-living, he turned this house into 7 beds and 2 bathrooms. And each bedroom he makes about 750 to 800 per month. So by that you can tell his monthly income for this house is 5,000 to 5,600. That's why he was able to and turn this into like a capital machine. Right? I hope that I didn't go it too far. Yeah, but for the seller finance portion of this, it's 20,000 zero interest um, in 5 years balloon. Okay, so I see questions here. Maybe we can go through all of it. Just put your question here. We're gonna go back and answer your question. Okay, so the next The next case study is in Mesquite, right? So, um, yeah, so Mesquite, this deal, the scenario is, like it's an old house, not big house either, right? It looked like a mobile home. It's a single family, but it really looked like a mobile home. Um, but the ARV in the area is pretty high, about 300. And this how I think it is a case study because the progress of negotiating, go back and forth is something that I want to share with you guys. Okay, so we have when we came in, the person is already in pre-foreclosure, so he has um, he's late in 4 months, and the arrears they reimbursement is about like 18,000. Right, and the mortgage he has in 220 with the interest rate, 5.499%, 5.5. The house in like good condition, cosmetically. So you still need, about 15K to fix it up. Um, so this is how the house looks like. Like I said, it's a single family, but it does look like a mobile home, right? Um, and the seller let the kids, to damage the walls and everything, so it doesn't look good. But basically, there's nothing wrong with the big thing. It's just cosmetic. Okay. And this is how we analyze the deal. We we check the numbers a little bit. We see if we do 80% ARV minus repair, your initial investment gonna be 240 for the purchase plus the repair. And if you choose to flip it, maybe you make 15 to 20K. But at that time, the flipping market is not good, that good because of the high interest. Um, and let's look at the per method, right? If we keep it for rent, does it work, right? Rent com is about 1,800, but if you refinance it, interest rate 8.5%, your PITI already 1,850, so you don't cash flow. Um, Short-term rent, mid-term rent, it's okay. Of this area is not like a good area for uh, short-term rent or mid-term rent. For co-living, it may be a good for co-living, but because the house layout is not as good as the one in the branch, so you can do it, but it's not like 7 bedroom. You can do maximum like 5 bedroom. Right. So basically, this one we put on a contract. We try to wholesale it, but but because of the arrears, right? The 18,000 here, that makes the deal very slow to be this slow. So when when we figure out that, like after a week or 10 days, we see, many people interested, we tell the seller that to go back to the mortgage company and trying to do, like loan modification and to remove the abuse numbers, right? To remove the reinstatement, amount. And actually, he was able to go back to the loan modification um, with a very good rate as well. So he was able to remove the 18,000 balance and change the loan to like 40 years, keep the same interest rate. Um, so that makes, the deals now, you only need about 3 to 5,000. We end up like negotiate with him. Like, okay, we only give him like 3,000 upfront. We take over the mortgage and we give him, 15,000 more, but in 7 years with zero. You see that the carry is 50,000 in 7 years. There were interest about like 238 per month. How much we pay him per month. Um, and that means to purchase this house, you only need 3,000 to purchase this house. And with this interest rate, maybe co-living is okay, but there's another exit strategy that's good for this. It's a wrap. If you never heard a wrap before, we can talk in a different section. But wrap means you find another, like end buyer and you sell to them at 10 to 12% interest. So you become the lender and you collect the difference of the interest between the new buyers and you pay the the mortgage 5.5%. Okay, so that's the wrap. Okay. Um, I think yeah, let's skip this. Okay, the last I'm gonna save time for questions, so that's why I'm gonna skip the admin one. But the forward one is the most recent one, and this is interesting because all these three, the other three case study, you see that we need to get money out to purchase the house. Even though it's not much, it's like 3,000, 5,000, 10,000 to purchase the house. But with this scenario, this case, we don't have any money out of pocket to purchase the house. Not only that, the seller gonna give the money to us to purchase his house. Isn't it interesting? Right? So let's see how it happened like that. So because this house he bought like 2 years ago, he doesn't have a equity in the house, and he has a very high interest rate, 6.75. The PITI is like ridiculously high. It's like $3,500 for like a 300,000 house. It's really here. So how we figured it out is that it's that high because he never claim it as a homestead. And the county to increase, like to determine the house like 50,000 or something. So it's not correct. So that's why it makes his tax and insurance is very high. So that's why when we got this contract, we already tell him that with this PITI, most likely nobody gonna be interested, right? It doesn't matter, what exit strategy you have, even provision you have the most income for the house is, it doesn't cash flow with that. And then the seller also expect, to have a few thousand to walk away. So we end up like, um, we need to restructure the offer, the terms with him. So, and he also have down payment assistance, about 5,800, but it's forgivable in 2020. So what we do is that we come in, we offer him, purchase price 309,000, right? We take over the mortgage, right? We even okay with that high PITI as well, but we know that next year we can protest to reduce the tax and interest. However, we tell the seller that, instead of we need to wait until next year to purchase his house, he will need to give us the money to cover the 5 months of the mortgage, from November to the next March of 2025, right? And we offer him 12% interest, but give back to us as a loan in 2 years. So it's total about 18,000. But in 2 years, 12% interest. And then we also negotiate with the agent in the deal, for their fee plus the wholesale fee of us as well, right? It's 15K total. And it's right, they gave us as a loan in 1 year, so with 12% interest. So totally we received 32,000 to purchase this deal, right? And we also the seller, 8,000, but that 8,000 zero interest in 7 years, right? And the payment not gonna start, you know, after 2 years. Just have to close, right? This one is a little complicated, but that's how we could, like, got the deal without any money out, but also, the agent and the seller did give money to us. Okay. Okay, I stay close to the mic now. Um, I think that's it. That's it for the case study that I prepared today. Let's get if you have question, right, you can ask or let me get back to the question. Um, yeah, okay. Do we get a copy of just like you can screenshot? Yeah, or I will give the slide to Research IQ and you can get it from them. Okay. Are these deals from your referral where you find properties other than those listed in the MLS? Okay, so we do have team that do calling. Either, is the off market lead, just like Real Estate IQ provided, or you can call the MLS listing. And but most of my deals now is from referral. Yes, you're correct. So referral, it can be from wholesaler, it can be other investor, or it can be from realtors. Right. So realtors, if you build good relationship with them, they can bring you a lot of deals. So, um, can you stop that? Okay. Any other question? Let me see. Okay. Can I put variation on and even rebound? I think this is a question for loan officer. But let's say all these all the case study here, when you purchase it, it doesn't need any bank involved. It doesn't need any credit. It doesn't need any down payment. Basically, if somebody have no credit, no W-2, no income proof at all, they still can purchase these house. And basically, money for you to get in the deal, I think less than 10%, right? We all see 10K to purchase, 3K to purchase, yeah, sometimes 5K to purchase. So it's like nothing. Do you always try to cash out a max LTV? No, I mean loan to value. Cash out. Can I don't understand that question. Can can you unmute yourself or tell me what really like you're trying to ask? Loan to value, the mortgage they have on these case study usually is high because these people they almost have no equity in the house. That's why, you know, if they sell with cash, it doesn't work. Because usually cash deal is what? Cash deal you offer with a discount price, so you can make profit, right? And they have to agree to sell you with a discount price because they want to move fast, right? They have urgency to that they need to sell the house fast. But in this scenario, the seller just cannot sell it low because they still have mortgage they have to pay, and they don't have equity in the house. So that means their mortgage is, you know, 80, 90% or even more, right? You see that their mortgage is almost like same as market value, right? So that's why the new method. not new, but the other method, subject to and seller finance would fit would fit in because we don't really need to offer this discount price, right? So whatever wholesale leads that the cash offer doesn't work, maybe you need to consider subject to and seller finance offer, right? That's the creative offer where you can offer much higher even market values. Sometimes I do offer even more than market value. If the house only value like 300,000, I can offer him 400,000 easily. It just depends on how you structure it. Because for the investor, the numbers on the purchase or the monthly payment, it doesn't matter much. As long as you cash flow, it doesn't matter how much you purchase. Try to remodel house here where you find good contractors that flags. Okay. There's a lot of good contractor out there, but I will give you some red flags for the bad contractor. Whoever's always ask you for money first, like upfront before he do anything. That can be a bad, it can be a red flag. Um, Maybe he can ask you for deposit, just a few thousand. But most of my contractor, they come in, they do it, they don't charge, right, until they finish the job. Then yes, you pay. And when you pay, you withhold about 10 to 15% because you don't know if there's something else, you need to fix later. So if you pay off everything, they're not gonna come back. Right. Yeah, and you should, in any project, you should have, like multiple, how to say, bid on it instead of just go for one. Right? You have like maybe 3 or 4 people come out and give you a quote, right? And then you can look at it, you can compare, and you can go back to them and ask them, "Hey, will you match or you bid it the price?" Right? And then the contractor will tell you. Most of the time, they will either match it or yeah. Should I go to refinance or HELOC if I trade cash for rehab? Mm, I think you can, but for HELOC and refinance, it's a 2 different thing. I suggest you should go with an, loan officer to give you, a comparison. What is the pro and cons of the 2, so you can make a good decision. Um, yeah, but the thing is, if you just want to refinance it for your own house, I think refinance is better. Um, because it depends on what you wanna do with the house itself. If you want to fix it up to rent it later, then you need to do the calculation if it's worth it, right? Or how much, up to how much that you should fix it. I should ask you currently in home current mortgage. Uh, Currently in home. What do you mean? To keep the current mortgage? Um, I don't really understand that. Mm, but I mean, if you want to transfer the title to your LLC, um, you can do that. Yeah, but the current mortgage gonna stay there. It's not gonna change, right? Let's say like a house on your name. If you want to transfer a title to your company, but you still paying the same mortgage, yeah, that's exactly how it works with here, right? Because when you purchase subject to or subject to, right, the mortgage stay still stay on the name of the seller, with the title transferred to the new buyer. Okay, so new buyer can put on their name, can put on their LLC name, put on their trust or whatever. Oh, we have harmony lender here. That's good. Okay, 18 month. Lemon, no, you can deduct any or okay, all these maybe you we can yeah, like question like the 18 months flip. We need to meet like one-on-one to see the numbers or something because I don't want to waste a lot of time of other people here to answer detailed question. Any tips to connect to credible private? Yeah, we have harmony lender in the house, and I mean, here's what we can help you with, right? We can help you with application. If you need somebody to help you analyze or review, structure the deal, right, we can do that. Make an offer, right? If you're not confident, if your offer is good or something, we can review it for you. We can help you with disposition, right? Disposing the deal. We have a network, the internal network of um, only subject to investor and buyers. More than 50 of them. And we have a network of cash buyer and investor, more than 3 million of them. We have investor lift, cartel mode, that we usually use to close the cash deal. And we can also help you with funding, which either we can fund it for you or we can connect you to, our uh, investor that can fund your deal. But of course, we need to look at the deal. We need to make sure that it's safe for, the lender and, if your deal is okay to fund, right? So we need to do a lot of, I would say, underwriting. Yeah. And if you newbie, we are also here to help you get your first deal. If you, yeah, if you want, you can reach out to Real Estate IQ. They can help you to connect with me, or if I'm not the right person, they can help you to connect to the right people. Yeah. Okay. I think that's it. Mm, and if you want to get my contact, contact whoever invited you, or how did you get into this event? Ask them. Okay. All right. Any other question? Okay. If not, then thank you so much for coming. And I'm happy to, I hope that I can give some values to you today. All right. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.